Now, I know that Wilder doesn't return your texts anymore.
I think he's changed his number, you know.
That's outrageous. And he hasn't given you a new number.
Or he might have blocked me.
Oh, he can't block you. He's an adult.
Blocked me.
Okay, but there is someone you do speak to on the telephone.
Yeah.
So I'm told. Anthony Joshua.
Yes, now
What
and
are these
again.
conversations you have with Joshua when you call him?
Well, I call him, and sometimes I say, "What's happening, AJ? How are you, mush?" That's usually what I say. And then we have a little bit of back and forth, and I tell him I'm going to knock him out, and he tells me I'm going to knock you out. And I said, after your last performance, mush, you need a lot of improvement to knock me out, I tell you that. And he has a little laugh, and we have a little laugh, and it's a bit of banter, isn't it? But just think about it. You've got all these heavyweight champions and all these famous sports peoples in your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a couple of beers. What are you going to do? We're only human after all, aren't we?
So they're not hostile, nasty conversations. It's just you, it's just a
it's
little
just
bit
me having a bit of banter with the lads. I call Dylan White. I call Wayne Rooney. I call Anthony Joshua. I call them all. Oh.
Because when Joshua first got knocked out, in the morning after, you said, look, it can happen to anybody.
Yeah, of course.
He went down swinging.
Listen, it was what it was. There's no shame in losing on the night. Listen, we're athletes at the end of the day. We're boxers. We're rivals at the end of the day. But this is a sport, and anyone can lose a fight. Anyone can lose a match. Look, you can sometimes see the best football teams in the world lose to like worse ones. Yeah. Do you know? And you can sometimes see heavyweight champions who are supposed to be great lose to someone who's not supposed to be that good. That's just the world we live in.
And of course, that happened too.
And that sort of stuff gives people inspiration, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So every now and again, something like that has to happen to give the average man on the street inspiration and will to keep going.
You need an unbeatable man to be stood on his head occasionally, like you did with Vlad in front of 50,000 people in Dusseldorf, and like Ruiz did to Joshua.
Yeah.
You never managed to get back in the ring with Vlad, a variety of reasons, the following year. It wasn't a great year for you. I think you'd agree with that. So you never got a chance to beat him again. Joshua has got a chance to get back in the ring with Ruiz. Is that wise, do you think?
I don't know. I'm not a boxing
What's
promoter.
your gut feeling, though? You're a boxing man.
I am a boxing man, but there's different breeds, and I'm a different breed to anybody that there is out there else. I'm a different animal, different breed. So I can't think about what I do and go on other people because it's not realistic.
Would you have to fight Ruiz again?
I would have to.
Yeah.
But logically, it depends how you lose. You know, we've seen it happen before where a man gets knocked out and then he has a rematch and he beats him in the rematch, immediate rematches. We've seen it with Rackman and Lewis, didn't we?
Yes, we did indeed.
Rackman caught him with a big punch in round 4 on the rope, bang, splattered him. But then in the rematch, Lewis was a bit more cautious and took it more seriously and splattered him in the rematch, immediate rematch. Yeah. So that was fantastic. But from where I was sitting, and I don't want to just keep going on about it because it's in the past and, you know,
no, but your opinion on it matters.
I feel like people think I'm trying to give a dig or whatever. Yeah. But from where I was sitting, it wasn't a lucky punch. It wasn't. No, it wasn't. It wasn't like he was losing all the rounds and he hit him and that was it. I thought he won like majority of all the fight.
Yeah, yeah.
Like from round 1 to round whatever it was, 7. So I see he's lost a bit of weight and he's been taking notice to what people are saying. He's got too much muscle on him and all that. But really that can be taken out of context as well. You can't change a bull into a racehorse. It doesn't work like that. So, and a racehorse can't tow a wagon or a heavy load. It doesn't work. So if you take that big heavy horse and strip his muscle off and then put him in the same cart he was in trying to pull that heavy load again, he's not going to manage it. So it's horses for courses. So I think they're going to try and lose weight and try and move her a lot, but you can't do that in one camp. No. That takes a lifetime practice. We saw Tony Bellew tried to do it against Usyk. Tried to copy my style, but after 8 rounds, his legs went. It works. It's effective. It's effective. I've been successful 29 times in a row with it. But
it's
you
something
can't
that you've
learn
been
it
working
overnight.
on for your life.
Yeah. So what tends to happen is in new things, new camps, is when someone practices something in the gym for 8, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, and then they go in a fight and they try and do it. But as soon as they get clipped or they get tired, they revert straight back to what they once knew. I've seen it many, many times. And as soon as he holds his feet and starts to fight back, he loses, in my opinion.
That's when he gets caught again.
But if he can get on the jab and box and move, which I've never ever seen him do, amateur or pro, for 12 rounds, which is for a heavyweight, it's a very hard thing to do. At some point, he's going to have to stand and fight. Simple. And if he keeps running away from Ruiz with a jab, he's not got the footwork to do that. Work on what you're good at.
And just make that better.
And make that better. Tighten your defence up and go forward and smash them. Like Hulk smash.
So a bit like you from Wilder last year. Work on what you're good at.
Listen,
just do what you're good at better on the night. And therefore, and no one's in doubt.
That's it. You can only do your best. And if it's good enough, you'll win. And if it's not good enough, you lose to a better man. Shake the man's hand and forget about it. That's it. We saw Tony Thompson lose to Vladimir Klitschko.
Yes.
Worked his way back into contention and got another shot at Vladimir Klitschko. Unfortunately, he lost again in 2 compelling fights, 2 good fights, but he still lost.
Have clawed his way back.
Yeah, and this is what Joshua will do. We saw David Price and Tony Thompson. He lost the first fight by knockout, went back straight away, lost the second fight by knockout. In my opinion, he should never have fought Thompson again, maybe 5 or 6 fights later down the line. It messed his career up. Maybe this could be the same for Joshua, because without being a harsh critic, but if he loses to Ruiz the second time, where does he go from there?
It's tough.
Well, it's always going to be big fights in England. Drop back down, fight Dylan White at home maybe, or get a couple of tune-up fights, European level or stuff, and then go again. Frank Bruno done it 5 or 6 times. You know, many fighters have done it in the past.
But it's hard.
But it is hard, but it depends how much you want it as well, doesn't it? Like, with Big Frank, one of my all-time heroes, he really wanted to be a fighting man, didn't he? He really loved the game.
He wanted that title.
He wanted it.
He wanted it.
And no matter how many times he got set back, he trained hard, he dedicated, and he finally got it again, didn't he? He finally got the title. Oliver McCall.
Never doubt his guts and his bravery and his determination.
And just because you lose a fight, what does that really mean? Does it mean you're no good, or you never was any good, or what does it mean?
Could you fight your way back after 2 losses, back-to-back losses? Could you? Would you still have the desire to fight back? Do you think?
Yeah, listen, Vladimir had 3 losses, didn't he, all knockouts?
Bad ones.
Yeah. So, you know, and then he went on and reigned for the next 10 years after that. So a couple of losses don't really mean a lot, but it's what's up here as well. Mentally, does it affect you as a person and as a fighter? Because 2 damaging losses in a row can. Depends what type of character you are, what type of character you're not. And the difference in Vladimir and AJ was Vladimir had the build, but he never used it. He had that athletic, long build, but he used to fight like that, like typical European style, and walk into big punches, where Joshua, he doesn't really have that. He has a muscular, strong build, but he doesn't have an athletic build where he can in and out, move around for a long time, because it takes a lot of energy, all the muscle.
And you can't build that in a 6-week, 7-week, 8-week, 9-week camp.
No. I think you do what you got at. Go forward, try and smash him.
But you want Joshua to win, because it still creates that buzz, that potential that one day you and him will fight one day.
Well, to be honest, it doesn't really make a difference to me who wins out of that fight.
Okay.
Because me versus Joshua in England is always going to be a big fight. Even if he loses 3 or 4 fights more in a row, there's always going to be a big fight there for me and him. Just because you lose a couple of fights, it doesn't mean your status goes down, really. He's still going to be a high-profile name in the all around the world.
Sure.
So there'll always be a big fight at domestic level with rivals. Just like Amir Khan, how many fights has he lost now in a row? And even if Kell Brook loses a load, there's always going to be that fight where, you know, Kell Brook versus Amir Khan or British Showdown. It's going to be of interest. So even if Ruiz beats Joshua again, it's not a negative for me, because either one of them is a big fight for me.
And you'd like Ruiz?
Yeah, listen, I am going to fight them all.
I know you'd fight any man, but you'd like Ruiz.
Yeah, listen, I'll fight Wilder, winner of Ruiz, Joshua, if they're available. If they're not, I'll give Del Boy another shot.